It's morning on the first day of harvest season at Finca Santa Teresa in Panama. The pickers have arrived, the coffee cherries are ripe on the trees, just waiting for the huge task to begin. Soon, experienced hands will start to pick the 600,000 kilos of coffee cherries waiting to start their trip to our cups. But the whole story doesn't begin with the harvesting. We need to go back in time to see the real beginning. Coffee farms first need to plant trees, which are brought from special nurseries. It's a big job. A farm like Santa Teresa has around 250,000 trees, all planted by hand. A coffee tree has a useful life of 10 to 15 years, so farmers are always planting new trees to replace the old. This tree will need 3 to 4 years from its first watering to be ready to flower. Flowering happens in response to seasonal rainfall. The trees burst out into delicate white flowers which smell of jasmine and last only a few days. Bees must come to pollinate the flowers before they wilt and fall. After this brief period of excitement, the farmers will wait for nearly 9 months while the cherries develop. While the green cherries grow, more rain is needed to ensure the full development of the precious coffee seeds growing inside. If all goes well, soon there will be fat, ripe cherries ready for the harvest. The pickers begin on the first part of the farm to ripen. Picking specialty coffee is a skilled job. The pickers must work quickly to remove vast amounts of coffee, choosing the ripe cherries and leaving the rest behind. Each picker carries a basket which holds 14 to 15 kilos. The baskets are emptied into sacks during the day. Toward the end of the day, the pickers come down from the hills carrying the huge bags of coffee. A weigh station is set up, weighing each bag so the pickers can be paid, and recording the size of the harvest day. It's important for coffee cherries to be processed quickly after harvesting, so the bags are emptied out, the coffee is transferred into the truck, and will be taken straight to the mill. Each picker will harvest around 100 kilos of coffee per day. That's twice their own body weight for some of them. Each day may see 5 to 6 tons of coffee cherries brought to the mill for processing. The pickers will move from one part of the farm to another, working steadily until the trees are empty. This can take 2 to 3 months, harvesting all day and processing all night. It's a time of unrelenting activity, and quality standards of picking and processing must be upheld to produce top coffee. The day shift is over, and the truck takes the workers back to the mill, where they stay in the provided accommodation. Santa Teresa also operates a school during harvest season, where the kids are kept up with their lessons while their parents are working. The night shift takes over when the fresh cherries are delivered to the mill. It takes around 5 to 6 kilos of coffee cherry to produce 1 kilo of finished green coffee, so lots of cherries are needed. At this point, where the coffee enters the mill, the work of the harvester is done for this batch of coffee. The next stage in its process is called the wet mill, or washing station, which will be covered in the next part of the series. For the picking team, it's now time for a well-earned rest before the next day begins.